council, the mayor, and those that operate this city. It's a great place because of their efforts. So Lord, thank you that we can be here this night in this meeting. Thank you for the mayor to still continue to allow prayer. You, the one God in this nation that we believe and trust in, that could help provide this meeting with memory. Help us forget the things that just aren't necessary at all. Remember the things that are good that maybe we would have forgotten, that we can just be here and speak boldly, directly, and to the point, and not to be long-winded, but just take care of the business of this beautiful city. Bless the council, the mayor, the treasurer, Sam, for all that they do, the fire department, the city police, all the organizations that make Libby a beautiful place for us to continue to live. We ask that you bless this meeting and all those behind the scenes. Amen.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Councilor Burke. Councilor Berger.
Here.
Councilor Culp.
Here.
Councilor Smith.
Here.
Councilor Taylor.
Here.
Councilor Zimmerman.
I did ask
Did
him.
you
I
unmute?
did, but
I thought I'd seen him. He is online.
Here.
Roll call is complete, Madam Mayor.
thank you. Welcome everyone here tonight and those that who are online. Appreciate you joining us tonight for this meeting. I do have a couple of announcements and little comments. George Gerard of the Rotary Club dropped these off this afternoon. This is a parking sign he would like to have us put outside in the parking lot. If you remember, he and Linda came several meetings ago and talked about this project, and so they're getting it off the ground. There's also a window poster that has the QR code that you can scan, and will pop up help numbers and locations. So I'll talk to Justin and he will contact George about getting the one up in the parking lot. The other thing is on August 4th, EPA and DEQ will be in town. They're doing a groundwater, this is the 5-year review of the groundwater, and so they're going to be doing a public meeting groundwater update, but they will do a council update on Monday prior to our meeting. They'll do it at 6:15, and then there's a public meeting on Tuesday. I assume it's 6, but I don't actually have that time. Sorry. I'm going to mention that we did do the 2 days last week of looking at the Mineral Avenue project, of identifying what improvements we could make to Mineral Avenue. We had a good attendance. Gail was there on Friday for all of it, actually, weren't you? We had quite a few people stop by at the farmers market on Thursday, and mostly we got really good positive reviews. There were a few people who were very opposed, but mostly we got very positive, encouraging comments. The engineer will be taking all the comments back and developing a plan, and we'll be back in the fall for a meeting with the property owners and public. Okay, move on to the, does anybody else have anything to announce? Then we'll move on to the approving in the minutes of the regular meeting 1680 from July 7th. I know they went out kind of late. Did everybody get a chance to read them and look at them?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes for regular meeting 1680.
Second.
Okay, are there any corrections or additions? Okay, any council comments before I open it for public comment? So any public comments on the minutes from meeting 1680 on July 7th? Public comments? Public comments? Seeing none, then all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
He's delayed.
I think are you delayed, right? Or are you voting no?
No, I voted aye.
Okay, thanks. Just making sure. So the motion carries, minutes are approved. That brings us to our city administrator's report.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council, being the second meeting, usually it's just a building report, but a lot of things been coming up, so this might take just a few minutes longer. We did the final closeout for fiscal year 2025 building permits. In total, we sold 35 permits for $56,653. Last year, we ended up selling 40 permits for $37,198. So there was a big increase, but the difference was that one permit had 13 buildings and the other had 6 different buildings. So that was your big difference there. So actually, we're ahead of the curve like $10,000 over the last 4 years of average on those. In total, we had 13 roofs, 31 buildings, 2 major remodels, 2 new carports, 1 major addition, 2 decks, and there was 1 miscellaneous on that. And kind of the way that I read this is that the buildings is actually growth, which will actually count towards our property taxes within city limits. So it's that growth that allows to cover up for inflation, employees' raises, and everything like that. So I believe it was a very good report. So I'll be working the next couple days to do splits for the Department of Revenue and then adjusting all the street maintenance and lighting taxes to get them all put out to the county treasurer so they can be applied. Another report is you've seen they started digging on Cedar Street. And what happened this morning, we had a complaint that somebody couldn't get out of their house. So we went ahead and looked into that. And what happened was they were doing exploratory digging because what they're finding out is the pipe sizes and everything else isn't what was on the drawings. So they're actually going to go through and truly identify at each one of the valves what parts they need so they can get everything on order, get them all in so that when they go to do the major project, it won't slow it down. I did talk to the group, and they are going to start door knocking on any of these last minute times to make sure everybody knows what's going on. I'd just like to remind everybody that the second half of the equivalent dwelling units are going to in effect. I'll be changing it later on this week to reflect that. So people would see it on their August bill that's billing for July. We did an OU1 inspection on Thursday with the DEQ. It was great because they came in a different time of year. They're usually here in the spring, so they don't get to see a lot of what's really happening once the grasses die down and everything. So they did find erosion in a few spots. So the good thing is we can actually justify bringing in more soil, and we're going to try to find a better type of grass or clover, which will be remaining green without getting the water to where it blows out, to try to protect that cap a little bit more throughout several areas in the park. Right now, if you can feel it's cooler in the building, we had 5 of the units getting replaced right now. There's 27 units. They quit making them when we were looking to have to replace the whole system until we found a company that could make those. So we got 5 of them installed today. There's another one going to be coming. So we have 21 of them left within the next 5 to 7 years to replace at $10,000 a pop. So that money will be going into the capital improvement plan to make sure that we can just pay cash for those repairs. On the bathrooms at Fireman's Park, I have been able to find a great viable solution. I went overhead and talked to Saul at the county. He's their IT specialist. He's very pleased with the solution that we came up with. What it's actually going to be is we're not going to worry about trying to have Wi-Fi down there because we either have to pay Starlink or somebody else for that fee. So I was able to find basically an external hard drive. It's called an NVR. And we're going to put cameras on the front and back of it that will just record right to that hard drive. The cameras are like bulletproof, so hopefully we can get away from a lot of the vandalism on that. I went ahead and submitted everything to MMIA. But Saul thought it was going to be $3,000 to $4,000, and actually I can get it for roughly $1,200 for everything we need. So we're going to be able to save money on that. When I got out there, it still has to go through Brittany at MMIA. But right now, I got the preliminaries that it's good, but the cameras cannot look inside the restrooms. Second, the cameras are going to be potentially used for legal matters. The city needs to properly maintain those recordings. We've already discussed that within the city. It's going to be a 4 terabyte box, and if we get a $20 or $30 external hard drive, at the end of the year, we just click, drag it, put the dates, and stick it into the vault in case something ever comes up for archives. There's also, most of the security cameras actually have record audio, even if the people don't mean to. But the fact that we're going to be recording audios with the one we have, I'm going to be researching Montana Privacy Communications Law, and that will be open records. So also I'm going to have to do a policy that if somebody says, I want a copy of that tape, how the city's going to handle it and who's going to be able to supervise that. The last thing was we need to have signage out. What, of course, we want to put signage out as an additional deterrent for the vandalism, but also let people know that legally they're being recorded. The last thing, I did receive a variance request to allow a mobile home to be placed onto city property besides a regular home. I'm going to contact this resident and make sure they know this has to be a conditional use permit instead of a variance, because what they're looking for could be not up to the zoning, so it would be a benefit placed upon him that other people could not get. So I'll be working with this person before it comes forward to the council. And that's my report, Madam Mayor and Council.
Does anybody have any questions or comments for Mr. Sykes?
Yes. Can we use the recorders without recording sound?
The cameras and the systems that we found do not come without audio. With all the newer upgrades, they all come with audio.
But can you disable it?
I would have to look, that's something I could look into.
I would think you could. I mean, I just don't know what the benefit of sound would be.
Actually, without it, it'd probably be a smaller recording size when you're trying to limit that, because we're trying to limit one external hard drive per year.
I mean, mostly it's just trying to identify the variants.
Any other questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Then we'll move on to committee reports. The first up is the Budget Committee, which will meet on next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, June 30th. We're going to be finalizing the budget prior to the August 4th preliminary budget approval. Do you have anything to add to that?
Not tonight.
Okay. Then building.
Nothing reported this time.
Melissa's not here for cemetery and parks. Ryan isn't here for fire. Light, streets, and sidewalks is on the agenda. Nothing's in ordinance at the moment. No water, sewer. And is there any activity on wildlife?
Not at this time.
Okay. So we'll move on to public comments on items not on the agenda.
Chair, sorry. There was a Board of Health meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
I didn't think.
A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So the Board of Health met, and it was not a very long meeting. We had a variance request for a location of a septic system setback not being what the requirement is, but it was replacing an illegal septic system, so it was actually, the health department considered it an improvement because it would have been advanced treatment, but it's close to a lake, so it needed a variance request. And then we got an update from an individual that's involved in our crisis response team, which the actual team itself is still non-functioning. So there's a lot of questions and concerns about that moving forward. A crisis response team is designed to take pressure off the law enforcement and actually have trained specialists in cases where people are, need help in other ways, largely mental. And so that program is still struggling. I think the commissioners have some responsibility to that. Anyway, so more to come there. And that was pretty much it for the meeting updates from the EPA asbestos site. The Board of Health issued a letter with concerns about the 5-year review status, not thinking that their plan was fully protective of public health. So I think there's more to do there.
Okay. Then we'll move on to public comments of items not on the agenda, so that people understand how to engage with this public proceeding. There is a dedicated public comment period next on our agenda. It's a time for the public to comment on any matter that is not on tonight's agenda but is within the jurisdiction of the Libby City Council. It's a comment period, not a question and answer period, and each person is limited to 3 minutes. So if you have a comment to make of an item that's not on the agenda, step to the podium and state your name and address and make your comment. So are there any public comment? Items not on the agenda? Public comment? Public comment. Okay, then we will move on to agenda items. The public is welcome to comment on each agenda item under consideration by the council, allowing you to share your thoughts prior to the council vote. Again, each person is limited to 3 minutes. Comments must be specific to the agenda topic and motion under discussion. So our first item up on our agenda is Mr. Patricia with the recreation update.
Madam Mayor, City Council, thank you for having me back. I'm working with the Libby Park District, the Lincoln County Port Authority, and Lincoln County to manage recreation facilities in the Libby area. And it's been about a year since my last report, and for that I apologize. And you're not quite getting what you bargained for, and we'll do better in the future. The main objective in the past, as I mentioned, was to develop and improve the Libby Park District, and we're getting there. Progress has been made. We improved the functionality to align with the Montana codes annotated for districts. We developed the budget and accounting program. We hired a recreation manager funded by the NRDP and established some project priorities. As we mentioned before, as we move forward in the park district development, then it'd be time to grow. And I believe it's a good time now to coordinate recreation planning and development in South Lincoln County, and I'd like the Libby Park District and the City of Libby to establish a working relationship and help increase recreational opportunities for all in the Libby area. And so I'd like to find somebody in the City Council that I can join up with to speak to recreation.
Okay.
We can close that loop later. Projects we're working on, the swim pond construction is moving ahead. There are a few more items to complete. The Libby Park District and the Lincoln County Port Authority and Lincoln County are working to finalize these items. Opening dates uncertain at this time, and I would say after a meeting today that work on the port recreation property is on hold pending resolution of the current litigation with the Port Authority. So, caught in the red tape. Around the fish pond there's a nature trail that's usable and just needs some final touches. They're working on that. You may have noticed the Kootenai River Recreation Safety Map. It is out in various areas. It's a pretty good product. I think it'll help a lot of people, but it's available at the Chamber of Commerce, merchants in the Libby area and the Troy area. The next piece will get a e-version of that map where you can download it. It'll be available on the Lincoln County website. The Park District is working with the U.S. Forest Service on the snowshoe trail, and been working on the snowshoe trail for 8 years now, I think, but we are moving forward. And the lower 4.6 miles from Lee Creek up to Deep Creek is, we've got a sponsor for that, and we're working on the details of that. The Deep Creek and the Smurl Creek bridges are both set, and so there'll be a road you can, be a good trip from the Deep Creek Road down to Lee Creek or the other way, whichever way you want to go. It's all a pretty good ride in there. The Norgard Trail from Hogan Lane to the Nordic Ski Course. That route is agreed upon, and we walked it. It's waiting on a survey for that. And we'll get an easement across the DNRC section 16. And then that'll be a trail from Hogan Lane up to the ski course. That'll be a good route. Pioneer Park bike track is done. The volunteers are just finalizing the margins, cleaning up a little bit. The signs will be delivered on Wednesday. We'll get those installed. It's already seen a lot of use from local bike riders, and so it's a pretty simple task, but it's good, and more kids outside. The Outdoor Recreation Association, the LoRa group, is working on a recreation development plan for Skidale Park. That'll be both winter and summer facilities, and we got a little touch in there last year in between the snow, and got some trees out of the sled run and some cleanup there, and so it's a little better, but the summer facilities will be nice. We received some grants from the Natural Resource Damage Project, the NRDP, which asbestos-related recovery stuff. That's a grant from Montana DOJ, not to Montana DOJ. Following projects are on that. One is a 2-year funding for the recreation manager, and we got through the red tape there, and we actually got some money out of the NRDP. I just got the moment there. And the Norgard Trail parking area by Hogan Lane, that's another project. And it's, you're aware you contributed money to my projects, and of that cash that's been out there, I think I've been working on it for now 6 years, something like that. I should charge more, but anyway, I still have 11,000 left in that account, so that'll probably get us another year and a half, 2 years probably. So any questions or comments on that?
I did. What are the summer facilities, recreation for Skidale?
Skidale, there's, in the bicycling realm, there's this little pedal track that we have at Pioneer Park.
Okay.
A pump track would fit nicely in the Skidale. They could get it up against the hillside there, not in the sled run, of course. Off to the east, it would be where the trail goes up to Parmenter Flats. So we could get a bicycle pump track in there. There's room for a couple more picnic tables and clean up the trees, and take that, there was a ice skating rink that was banked up in there, clear that up, and a couple more barbecue places, things along that line.
Okay.
What's a pump track? Sorry.
Pump track is humps and hills where you pedal harder on your bike,
Okay.
and it's for bigger people, not little
Yeah,
people.
I've been on one of those, but I didn't know that's what it's called.
Yeah, oh, you got on it by accident.
No, I just didn't know.
Okay, any other questions or comments there?
And my apologies for not getting back to you, or your phone call, and so we can try to catch up in the next couple of days?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you. This is all really good, positive stuff for Libby, and I appreciate your work and the work of all the folks with you.
Thank you for this. It's not without a lot of angst.
Yeah.
So,
All right, thanks.
is there any public comment on Mr. Petrucci's report? Any public comments? Public comments? Then we'll move on to approving Resolution 2058 to abandon city-owned right-of-way, discontinuing and vacating Colorado and Kootenai Streets and the adjacent alley. We did discuss this a couple of weeks ago and made a vote to move it forward to the resolution and abandonment portion. The state code requires that we put a public notice in local newspaper, which we did on February 11th and July 11th and July 18th. And so the resolution 2058 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Libby, Montana, abandoning the remaining portion of Kootenai Street and a portion of Colorado Avenue, whereas it is the intention of the City of Libby, Montana, to abandon the property described herein and shown on Exhibit A attached, whereas the City Council of the City of Libby has determined that the abandonment of the property described herein can be done without detriment to the public interest. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Libby, Montana, that the following described tract of land, being the remaining portion of Kootenai Street and a portion of Colorado Avenue, is hereby abandoned. Said property consists of the remaining portion of Kootenai Street that is between and contiguous to plat number 4380 and 1633. Said property also consists of a portion of Colorado Avenue north of City Service Road and contiguous with parcel C of Certificate of Survey 2946, Tract 2 JG and plat 4380. Said property also consists of an alley contiguous and between plat 4380 and the portion of Kootenai Street abandoned by City Resolution 1110. Said property is a horse-shaped piece of land in the northwest corner of Section 3, Township 30 North, Range 11 West, and contains 17,000 square feet of land, more or less. Subject, however, to an easement consisting of a 25-foot strip of land across the northwest corner of said property shown on Certificate of Survey 481, records of the Lincoln County Clerk and Recorder's Office, which is reserved unto the City of Libby for purposes of maintaining, repairing, and replacing storm drain pipe under such 25-foot strip of land. And you have the exhibits that we had used a couple of weeks ago. So
I would make a motion that we adopt resolution 2058.
okay, I was trying to get Brian unmuted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Is there
Second.
any discussion or questions at this time?
I think all the information is highly supportive of this resolution. It aligns perfectly with state laws, requirements and guidance, and this piece of property is really useless to the city of Libby and really better get put to higher and better use. And so I support adopting this resolution.
Any other comments?
What ever came of the future water main extension services?
It is still on the table, if that's what you're asking. I'm not sure what you're...
I just wasn't in the...
Oh, Mr.
Madam
Sykes.
Mayor?
Yes.
We cannot require that they
Oh.
run a water main down there unless they're actually requesting services at that time. But since that will be in city limits, that will fall under the water rules. So in order to do that, they would have to extend it down to the far edge of their property, which would be the line between plat 951 and Certificate of Survey 2946. But we can't put that as a requirement for this actually abandoned.
Okay. Sorry. I will draw your attention to page 5 and 6, which we looked at the last meeting with the city gains, the city losses, and the suitor's gains and losses of both the abandonment option and the non-abandonment options. So, should council have any other comments? I'll open to public
Madam
comments.
Mayor?
Yes. Brian?
Yes, I just wanted to thank everybody involved in on this, especially with Sam doing the research and the digging, along with the suitors, to try and put everything in line and in perspective with what we can and can't do, and making this all hopefully come to fruition for everybody. So thank you all.
Thank you. Open the floor for public comments on this abandonment request. Public comments? Public comments? Then I'll bring it back to the floor. If the council has no other comments or questions, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay.
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 Okay, it is 3-1, so the motion does carry. 3-2, I'm sorry. 3-2, so the motion does carry. So you can see Sam tomorrow for how to proceed forward with the request. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Brings us to the next Okay, Brian, I'm going to mute you again. Since he does have noise on the line. The next topic is the street committee's recommendation to discuss and or approve as part of the LOR safety grant crosswalk flags and painting stripes inside of pedestrian crosswalks for better visibility. The painting of the stripes was actually a topic of something to do for next year, not this year, since painting is completed. Just to clarify that. So Gail?
So the streets committee, street sidewalks, we met and discussed the crosswalk flags. We had some guest speakers talking about the stop signs that had brought more safety for the pedestrians down in those areas. We discussed different things with the crosswalk flags, so we decided to go ahead and bring it forward to council for more discussion. If council wanted to move forward or not with the crosswalk flags. Do you remember any more about that, Kristen, about the crosswalk flags?
Well, I think the motion that we put forward was to get them, because Laura's willing to pay for, I forget how many, a couple dozen sets to have, to replace any that might walk away, but that would, at the minimum, be an interim, until we do some more improvements.
I think the motion that we voted for was actually to send it for discussion through the minutes, to bring it forward for discussion.
Yeah, to pursue funding from Laura to place those.
Yeah, if council, if they decide to want the flags. Laura said that they would provide funding for the flags if council wanted to move forward on the flags. And then, do we do flags now or just keep going?
Well, since both the crosswalk flags and the painting stripes would be included in the LOR, why don't you keep going?
Okay, and those are two separate things. When I spoke with Tabitha, I said the crosswalk flags, that would be decided by council, and we would, if that was necessary, then we'd circle back around. The painting for the crosswalk, she said that Laura would provide the paint for the stripes inside the crosswalks to make them more visible. However, it was brought up that instead of the stripes, because we're getting a little busy down there, to do logger boot prints in them to add some artistic value. And that was
I don't remember
just
that at the meeting.
Where did we get that from?
Maybe that
I
was
think
after
that's
the
something
vote.
that's come up since.
Come up since that.
That it would
Discussion.
be an artistic addition.
Right.
And if the LOR grant could cover any stencils that need to be done, that would be
Right, and I could talk
helpful.
with her about that.
Okay.
And then, so those were the LOR ones.
And I also went to what was mentioned at the meeting but not pursued, but might be able to be rolled into the LOR grant as part of the safety grant, was those portable speed signs. One of them is less than $5,000. So the mention was on California, where they come down the hill so fast that it might be beneficial there.
Well, I can see that.
So what is the council's feeling about pursuing a LOR grant, safety grant, with those 2 or 3 items included?
Well, for clarity's sake, I suggest we only focus on the flags right now, because we can do that. They can be ordered promptly, and just the striping we can bring back later. I think that was our discussion for next year's streets projects.
So move that to next year and just focus on funding the flags?
Well, I think with Tabitha, when we spoke about the funding for LOR to be able to set Justin up, would be to already get that in place if we were going to move forward with it, so that everything was done and he was ready to roll in the spring, so he would have that whole summer to be able to do that at the maximum time for next year.
I thought that's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
rather than
9 months
just,
away.
yeah, rather than just doing a piece now and trying to do a piece later,
Right.
so. Okay. So is council agreeable to approve pursuing the Lore Safety Grant?
I would make a motion that we pursue a war safety grant for the flags in the locations downtown that we discussed.
Okay.
I would second that.
Okay. So any public comments on this motion? Public comments? Mr. Patricia?
Tony Patricia, 559 Forest Road. So what are you gonna do?
You want to talk about?
So the public safety flags would go at the four-way stops, and I think we identified all the crosswalks.
So you're gonna put up a bunch, some flags at crosswalks?
And crosswalks, so that you can take one from one side when you cross the street, and hold it up while you cross the street, so you don't get hit by a car.
Okay.
It's,
I'm sorry.
Crossing guard
it's
stuff.
to know, yeah, to
Okay,
notice.
and that's all the motions for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Any other council comments? Brian? Okay, all in favor of the motion?
All good.
Sorry.
Aye.
Sorry, just a second.
That's all right.
Kristen's
I
gonna.
think we only talked about doing them from 2nd or 3rd to Lincoln Boulevard.
No, oh, yes.
Yeah, Lincoln,
I'm on the
right?
wrong street,
5
yes.
intersections, I think.
To Lincoln Boulevard to Second,
We-
right?
Yeah,
So, all of them anyway.
Brian?
and California.
Yes,
And
there was
California?
that. There was that talk as well as on California, just looking at ordering in abundance under the grant, so that way we had plenty of extras to lay out if they got bigger than what we wanted originally.
Okay,
Thank you, Brian.
any other comments? Okay, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We will pursue that grant. Brings us to all claims received to date. Did everyone get a chance to look at the claims?
I'm supposed to talk about the labor and industry ban.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped it. I'm sorry. The Streets Committee did have a recommendation for reinstalling the labor and industry banners downtown. Gail?
Yep, we talked about the labor and industry banners that were originally up. There was some confusion whether they were just a one-time thing or they were supposed to go back up. So we voted to send it to council, voting unanimously to recommend to city council the reinstallation of the banners.
Okay. Did you have a plan for how you're going to contact getting those up, since the city does not have a lift truck to be able to do that?
Right. So I believe originally they were supposed to go back up when the wreaths went down, they were supposed to go back up. So I'm not exactly sure
Okay.
how those would go back up. There's a couple of options. We could talk to Montana Sky or to Flathead, or rent a Genie from Rick's Rental.
Okay. Other council comments or?
I have no problem with them going back up, we just need to work out the logistics of how it's gonna go and what it's gonna cost us.
How did we put them up the first time?
The labor and industry, Janelle.
As
So
part of the initial project.
used Montana Sky and Flathead Electric, who volunteered their time to put them up.
Okay.
And they were taken down to put the Christmas wreaths back, but for whatever reason, they did not get back up when the Christmas wreaths came down. partly because the weather was not very conducive to staying out any longer than necessary at that point. So do you want us to just pursue this without with just general consensus, or do you want to?
If we move it to the later meeting, I will reach out to Cooley and Planet Electric and see if they'd be willing to help us put those back up.
Okay, we can do that. We can move it to the August 4th meeting. Okay.
Sounds good.
Is there any public comments regarding the reinstallation of those banners? Any public comments? Public comments. Then we will move on to claims. Did everyone get a chance to see the claims? If you have any questions, if the public would like to see the claims, they're available on Mondays. Just come in, the girls up front, Leanne, or I can, Sam, anyone can help you go through the claims and explain them, any of it, part of it to you. So, any public comments? Public comments? All in favor of approval of the claims?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Claims are approved. Approved business license application received today. Gracious Table Mandy Bell has put in an application just renewing her other license, but she's using it for some private uses. So that is the only business license we have currently.
I make the motion, we approve business license received today.
Second?
Okay. Any public comments on the business license? Public comments? Public comments? Does council have any comments? All in favor of approval of that business license?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. The business license is approved. We have no unfinished business, and so with general comments from the council. Council have any? I did want to just give an informational item. There was some conversation on Facebook over the fire concern on some of the slope, which is actually the back of Owen Hill up on Cedar Street extension. I typed it Cedar Creek, Cedar Street extension. Jennifer has been looking at that. We first talked about it, I think, about 2 years ago. And Jennifer had a lot of several small parcels that of themselves were not projects. So she created this project called Tidbits, which is just those little parcels, and of which that city-owned piece of land is one. And so she is working her way through those tidbits as she closes out her grant cycle and is retiring slowly, very slowly. And so she will be looking at getting that work, some of the fire mitigation work done on that slope, but she does not have a timetable for it at this point. Just so, since it was out there, and we did respond, and I just wanted to make sure council knew that there is a plan in place for trying to work on that. So, okay. Any other comments? Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.